may know lists from taking notes in class and, creating like a header that says list of events that occurred in the American Revolution or something. And then below that would be bullet points saying, for example, Boston Tea Party, etc., etc. So the way you would display lists in HTML is that you use the UL tag. And essentially, this is an unordered list. By contrast, you have the LI tag, which is an ordered list. And as you can see, for unordered lists, the default is to use bullet points, but with order, the default is always to use numbers to list the elements. And an ordered list starts with the OL tag. Oh, my bad. So UL is used for unordered list, while OL is used for ordered list. And then inside of those tags, each element in the list is surrounded by LI tags. So an LI tag stands for list item. So as you can see, in this list, unordered, Oracle, Java, HTML, CSS are all surrounded by LI tags, but they're surrounded by their own set of LI tags because each of those words are their own elements. And for ordered list, items 1, 2, and 3 are each surrounded by their own LI tags because they're their own elements. So I hope that kind of covers lists for you. As always, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to unmute your mic and ask, or ask it in chat.
Okay, number 5, careers. How can you use HTML?
So there's a couple of careers in HTML that you can use after learning the language and perhaps getting a degree in it. So the first one is UI and UX developer. This is a person who applies interactive and visual design principles to websites. So they use HTML, CSS, and other tools to achieve responsible designs. And also keep in mind that you can't just get one of these jobs with HTML alone. You have to know CSS and most likely JS, because HTML, CSS, and JS are basically like what constitutes a website. And we really encourage you to go on and learn those as well, because they're very important to improving your development skills. So the UI and UX developer focuses on creating a positive user experience. And this is a person who is not as much focused on actually, that's not the right way to explain it. They are focused on making the site have a really good experience for the user. So that may mean customizing the design a lot and being very familiar with a lot of these design principles in order to create a site that works really well.
Definitely. A lot of these jobs require portfolios. So, also we have a question. I have a question about UX personas. Can you help? Yeah. Go ahead and ask your question.
So if you want to, you can unmute your mic and speak, or you can ask in chat.
Okay, when creating the persona, is it legal to use images of real people and names?
So I guess I can answer that. You have this thing called Creative Commons, which is like a license that enables personal content made by other people to be used by strangers who did not create the content. So I would recommend searching for images and then Creative Commons, because that means that you can use that image without fear of being sued for copyright infringement. And also, even if you do use the image, it would be nice to probably like give credit to the original owner if they so desire it. But yeah, using Creative Commons is a really good way to use images that are legal in a website. I actually forget, is it me who goes or you, Tanisha?
It's you.
Okay. So the next one we are covering, actually, I think it's you, because didn't we just cover UI UX design?
Oh, sorry, I was looking at the wrong slide on my end. Okay.
Oh, that's all good. That's all good.
Yeah. So the next slide, front-end developer implements visual elements that users see in a web application. They create the site's layout and integrate graphics. They also have a very good understanding of what their user wants.
So this front-end developer works in tandem with a back-end developer who kind of handles server side as opposed to client side. So you might have heard those two terms before, but essentially what client side is, it's what the user can see, like what the website looks like and graphics, etc. But then you have server side, which handles all of the data processing and retrieving of data, and then converting it using algorithms. So back-end developers are totally different from front-end developers because they use totally different languages like SQL and Ruby on Rails and possibly even Python. But what the front-end and back-end developers shares in common is that they both work with the platform, except on different levels. So I guess we can move on to the next slide. We also have a full stack developer. So this person essentially integrates the responsibilities of both front end and back end developers. This means that they don't just work with client side or server side, they work with both, and they integrate them in pretty well. So full stack developers are actually really in demand these days because they know basically a well-rounded approach to maintaining a platform and creating it. They have many skills which a lot of companies desire. So instead of just hiring a front-end developer or a back-end developer and paying them both a certain salary, companies would rather prefer to hire a full stack developer because it means that they can save money, but also it means that they have a person who is very knowledgeable about the platform and has a lot of experience working with the different aspects to it. So that makes it easier to troubleshoot any problems that may come up.
Definitely. Okay, so then sixth topic we're talking about are resources. How can you learn HTML?
So a couple of the best tools to learn HTML include Free Codecamp, Codecademy, and W3 Schools. So Free Codecamp is what I used to learn HTML. This has a really free open curriculum that allows you to learn at your own pace. I remember that this has a lot of modules that you can use to really cover topics as in-depth as you need to. And it also has a forum to help you ask questions if you have any when you're learning. This also covers other aspects of front-end development such as CSS and JS, and I'm pretty sure they expanded their curriculum because I remember when I used Free Code Camp, they had like over 10,000 lessons or something, and then now it's probably like a lot more than that. Yeah, so this is really reliable. You also have Codecademy, which a lot of people start off with, whether it's in school or just learning on their own. Code Academy offers a more structured approach than Free Code Camp. It really enables you to learn through doing it yourself and hard coding projects, but most of the curriculum is free, but you'll have to pay a fee to access certain projects, so keep that in mind. W3 Schools is a really reliable resource because essentially everyone who codes has used W3 Schools at some point. Even if you are a really experienced developer, this is still really helpful because it is a glossary of code used in HTML and a lot of different languages such as SQL, a couple of other ones like Python and Java. It is very open-ended and it allows you to learn what terms mean in real time, as opposed to just learning by doing. And if you are ever coding a project and you have a question on it, simply search up the question and you'll probably be directed to W3 Schools. I've used this before, it's really helpful. I think another thing that I can think of is, what is that forum called where you like search up coding questions and then it like brings it up?
Madhu said Stack Overflow.
Yeah, Stack Overflow. So Stack Overflow is a really good resource as well. You know, if you have like a very specific question, then feel free to create an account and post it on Stack Overflow because it's a place where a lot of developers are and it's really a good resource.
Definitely. I have been using W3 Schools since I took that class and it was very helpful, and you can look up all these different programs, not only HTML, a lot of other coding languages are also on there, and they have it like a very easy to read and see the code and then see how it looks at the end. So definitely go check out W3 Schools.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
so
more trivia. When was HTML created?
So does anyone know the year when HTML was invented by its inventor? If you know the answer, just feel free to unmute yourself and say through the mic or type in chat.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying 1990s, 1993, 1990.
All right, so the answer is 1990. So the first line of HTML code was written in 1990 by the man we mentioned earlier. And that is basically trivia for HTML. Next,